Angry Joe just can't catch a break on social media. Social media can be a very positive thing for some people, but a lot of the time it can be extremely negative. Recently, I talked about how a woman had come forward and accused Angry Joe of acting very inappropriate with her. She said that over TwitchCon 2018's weekend, that he had made sexual advances towards her, that he pushed her against a wall, and she ended up walking back on some of her claims and even removed her original post after a few days, but it led to many people shooting first and asking questions later, basically canceling Angry Joe without hearing his side of the story. But now we have a writer and editor for GameSpot, the video game website with millions of followers and viewers on social media, calling him a misogynist and sexist. Literally because he gave The Last of Us Part 2 a not perfect score. He didn't give it a 10 out of 10 review, and that is why this writer and editor is attacking him. I've heard a lot of foolish arguments on the internet, but this takes the cake. So Angry Joe decided to make a comment on the situation with Laura Bailey. Now, if you don't know what happened with her, the other day on social media, she had posted that she was receiving a lot of very negative messages and even some death threats because she is Abby's voice actress. I don't like The Last of Us Part 2. I didn't like Abby as a character, but I definitely do not think that voice actors and actresses deserve to get death threats simply because you don't like their character. But she was, and Angry Joe decided to make a statement on this on Twitter. He said, "Sending death threats is small pee-pee energy. If you send death threats, you are a piece of shit with a micro dick and are announcing that fact to the world. It's never okay, you stupid idiot. I stand with Laura Bailey VO, and who did an awesome job voicing her character Abby in The Last of Us Part 2. Now, he had gotten some comments from people saying that, you know what, this isn't an okay or a proper response. Someone here said, "Your hate-fueled rant in the review encourages such behavior. Though whether you realize it or not, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how." Someone else, Sin Nightfall, said, "Stick to game reviews." And he responded the same way that I would. He said, what now? After this happened, Alessandro Filari, I hope I'm saying his name right, as you scroll over, his bio says writer and editor for GameSpot, he had retweeted Joe's post, saying, "This tweet from Angry Joe rings incredibly hollow, considering his review of The Last of Us Part 2 is just an extended diatribe of his sexist and misogynistic views. His content more than likely contributed to people harassing Laura, so he can fuck off with this pathetic about face." He literally says his content more than likely contributed to people harassing Laura. Just because he criticized a game and made fun of it at parts doesn't mean that people would instantly think, "Oh wow, my favorite content creator is hating on this game or is giving it a slightly negative review. I'm going to go and harass voice actresses." That does not make sense at all whatsoever in any realm. But to literally say that he has sexist and misogynistic views because he gave The Last of Us Part 2 a negative score makes no sense at all whatsoever. He decided to respond to Joe's post in the rudest way, calling Joe extremely shitty things. And of course, Joe responded, "Really, dude? Neither my review nor my review discussion were in any way sexist or misogynistic. I agree. I watched it. I thought his review was great. In no way did I see anything sexist or misogynistic about it." He continues, though, with, "Sounds to me like you just want to believe I'm those. You'd think a GameSpot editor would bother to watch the damn things fully and use their brain before spouting off this nonsense." And of course, after he said this, Alessandro decided to tweet out, "Oh great, now Angry Joe and his cringe army are coming after me too. Wonderful. Literally, you decided to attack Angry Joe. You decided to call him these disgusting things like a sexist and a misogynist, and you don't expect his fans to say, hey, that's not okay? I mean, seriously, if you are going to initiate an argument with someone and insult them, you should expect them to respond and their fans to respond. Yes, I don't think that you should be getting death threats like Laura Bailey did. He hasn't said that he has gotten any. But people are allowed to criticize your opinion. People are allowed to criticize what you're posting on social media. Now, I looked into his history, Alessandro's history, and he's worked for GameSpot from what I see since 2017. Back in 2015, he wrote his first articles for IGN. I mean, seriously, he is supposed to be a professional games journalist. Yet this is extremely unprofessional to label someone these awful things just because they didn't like a game. I mean, Joe even gave the game an average rating. I think that he said he gave it a 5 or a 6 out of 10. He didn't completely pan it like some people have. It's not like he gave it a 0 out of 10 and said that he did not like anything about it. Has this writer ever looked into Joe's past content? He is willing to make fun of basically anything, male characters, female characters. He doesn't show a prejudice against one gender from what I've seen, and I've watched his content for a very long time. And it's usually pretty easy to tell when someone clearly doesn't like a specific group of people, and that is just not the case here. People are allowed to criticize games. Angry Joe is a reviewer. He reviews games and gives his honest opinions on them to his audience. That's how most journalists should be, by the way. I know most aren't, and most will give a game a good review for a hefty paycheck, but it is his job to give honest reviews of games, and just because he dislikes one game doesn't mean that he's a misogynist or that he's sexist. I don't know if there will be anything else to add to this situation at this point. I don't know if Alessandro here will respond at all again. I don't know if Joe will respond again. But for someone that's supposed to be a professional in the gaming industry, his actions have been completely unprofessional. But that is all that I had to discuss in this video. I will put the original tweets in the pinned comment in case you want to check them out for yourself. Don't go and set Alessandro hate. He does not deserve it. I do think, though, that there is a difference between criticism and hate, though. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like and share it. And of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.